My name is Paul Galetta, and I've created this YouTube channel to help me raise awareness that the New York State school system is in the process of implementing a toxic social and political agenda into New York schools. They're implementing this through their diversity, inclusion, and equity agenda, as well as their social and emotional learning initiative. Most people are not aware of what's going on. As a former K-12 public school board member in New York State, I began to recognize this toxic agenda, and I have seen this movement gaining steam over the past few years. And it will get much worse unless something is done to stop it. Beyond the concerns I raised while serving on my local school board, I spoke at one of their recent meetings to raise awareness and explicitly express my concern with them and with parents and teachers throughout the school district. These comments were made during the public comment session of the meeting, in which speakers have 3 minutes to speak to the school board. I'll play a video of that for you to see now.
Who's just come up to the board? Please state your name.
Paul.
Oh, God.
Good evening. My name is Paul Galetta, and I'm here to raise awareness with the Board of Education and the school district that the New York State Education Department is in the process of implementing a toxic political agenda throughout the New York State school system. This agenda will have a detrimental impact on New York schools, teachers, and school children. This is being implemented through the Education Department's diversity, inclusion, and equity agenda, as well as their social and emotional learning initiative. I know these terms sound very reasonable, at least at the superficial level. But in the context and application of the state's agenda, it's very likely that these terms do not mean what you think they mean. They are a Trojan horse disguised as good intentions that will inject a dehumanizing, divisive, and destructive ideology into the school system. I only have 3 minutes to speak here, and I'd be glad to discuss this with any of you at any time. Because these initiatives will threaten the teaching profession and will have a detrimental impact on students, you would think teachers might speak out against it, but most will not. A percentage of teachers are activists pushing this agenda. A percentage of teachers think it sounds good, but have no idea what's behind it or where it will lead, and they will go along with the program. And another percentage of teachers will recognize the danger and the destructive nature of this agenda, but they will be reluctant to speak out against it for fear of the backlash that will be directed against them. There's a lot of talk in schools these days about bullies and bully prevention. Well, the biggest bullies in schools will be the activist teachers and the rise of activist students who will use these initiatives to push further and further as they bully you into submitting to this agenda. I know it sounds like I'm exaggerating. That's because the effects of this have not yet fully arrived. I used the example of a Trojan horse. Let me give you another one that I think even more accurately describes what's going on. Think of this as a very large boa constrictor, dressed up nicely and telling you it's here to help, as it wraps itself around you before it slowly starts to squeeze. I'll let you guess what happens next. For those of you who suffered through the state's incompetent implementation of the previous learning standards, you ain't seen nothing yet. As you can imagine, these comments have generated a lot of interest in people asking me for more information. And because it's a tremendous amount of information, I decided it would be best to create a YouTube channel and present the information in reasonable length video segments so that anyone can watch if they wish. That's my plan for now. I'll be presenting much more information, including primary source material, on this YouTube channel over the coming weeks and beyond as this develops and continues. Before I go any further, I'd like to make myself clear. I am very supportive of teachers and of the teaching profession, and most teachers are doing very good work in a very difficult job. This toxic agenda is being pushed by a relatively small amount of activist teachers and social and political activists who have gained a lot of influence over education policy, as well as being indoctrinated into aspiring teachers in teacher preparation programs in college. I also want to be clear that I am not a member of or affiliated with any political party or special interest group. Not that I have a problem with people that are. It's just that that's not the angle that I'm coming from. I personally see this as a big problem, and I'm trying to raise awareness and do what I can to help fix it. There's a lot of problems with this diversity, inclusion, and equity agenda, as well as a social and emotional learning initiative that's going to cause big problems throughout the state school system. But to be honest with you, my major concern is the long-term damage it will have on school children as they are taught and indoctrinated into this toxic worldview. I'll expand on that in my next video as I start to review some of the terminology and concepts of this agenda and worldview, which will lay the foundation for understanding a lot more information that will follow. Feel free to share this video with any teachers or parents who teach or have children in school anywhere in New York State, or with anyone else you think may be interested in New York or beyond. Because although this is being implemented throughout the New York school system, it's also growing roots in schools throughout the country. I know I didn't provide specific information in this video. This was just an introduction to my concern and how I plan to provide more information. I am not a seasoned lecturer, video presenter, or YouTuber by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm going to stumble through some of this for a while until I get used to it. But I'm doing this because I think it's the best way to get a lot of information out to a lot of people who may be interested. And because of how important I think this is. I appreciate your understanding and patience between the release of each video as I organize and prepare them. There is much more to come. If you want to contact me to share information or to share incidents that you know of that relate to this, whether it's training sessions or school lessons or assignments or anything else, I welcome and encourage you to email me at contactpaulgalletta@gmail.com. That's the word contact combined with my full name at gmail.com. I've already received information from people around the state and around the country, including some of the leading experts in this field, and I greatly appreciate the response and encouragement I've received so far. The more information I get, the more I will be able to show what's going on. So send me what you got. If you send it to me anonymously, please give me enough information so that I can verify it myself. I'll talk to you soon.